Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, like, comment, and subscribe. We do podcasts Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come and join in on today's topic. Welcome to the Blah, Blah, Blah podcast. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you chat family. Happy new week. Happy Monday. I hope everything is going well. I hope you're going to have a great day, a great week, all of those things. I wish you positivity, positive vibes only. So let me go to the chat. Hey, RNM. Hey, Susanna. Hey Matthew, how are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're well. So let's get into today's podcast. Just because I'm cordial doesn't mean I like you. Now, one thing about life is you have to know when and where to do things. For me, for one, I'm not going to do things to diminish all the hard work of my ancestors. Another thing is many times people who say things to you and about you, they don't know you. They don't know your life, especially on social media. Some people just want you to engage and to take you down the rabbit hole with them. That's all. But mainly this conversation today is about, learning how to separate um, the real life from the fake. You know, being on social media is not real life. What somebody says to you and about you on social media should not change how you think and feel about yourself. Um, because for one thing is for sure is that we all need to develop a business mindset. Everything, my social media and what I do for my business, I had to learn how to develop a business mindset. And that means that even if I could be flaming mad at something, you should never come onto your platform and scream and yell and no. You have to think about the future and sponsorships, trying to get um, collaborations and all sorts of deals. Remember, the things that you put on your platform, it follows you forever. It doesn't go away. So just a word of caution to all of you chat family to be careful about what you do and what you say, not just on social media, but in real life. The things that we do, what goes around comes around. And we have to develop a business mindset. And that means that we have to focus in on, will this help my business or will this hurt my business? Will this hurt my platform, my social media, or will it help it? Just a word of caution. One thing is that you could be putting in all of this work into your social media or into your real life business and real life, and just a thoughtless word, just because you're upset one day or you're in a bad mood, one word, one action can ruin your reputation, can ruin your life. So before you react, before you go buck, before you go crazy, before you wild out, think. My dad always told me a very wise advice when he said, Before you make a decision, before you do something, think things through from the beginning to the end. Is this good for me? Is this helpful? Will this hurt me or will this help me? Will this benefit myself? Will this benefit others? How will future relationships be affected by this decision? And, many times when I would think about things all the way, not just from the beginning, not because I'm all wound up or I'm all upset. We can't think by how we're feeling. We can't go by the emotion part. I'm learning that as I am getting older and more mature, we have to stay in our mind. We have to stay in remembering who we are. We have to remember who we belong to. We have to remember what's important in this life. And many times, the one person may be a manager or a person in business or somebody on social media. That's not going to be your entire life. Every people come in and they come out your life. Not all relationships are important. Not everything you have to respond to. So don't let one person or a group of people ruin your reputation, because once it's ruined, sometimes you can never get back on track how you used to be. So be careful and don't let other people diminish you. You have to always remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember your own worth, because that's the most important thing, you know. And getting back to this, just because I'm cordial doesn't mean I like you. A lot of times, there's people and they underestimate a person who is kind. They underestimate a person who is friendly. What you do, be careful. You know, be careful. You really don't know what people are capable of. You don't know what other people know. And it has to be a reminder, especially here on social media. People think that they can come for you, they can say all of these things, they can spread lies, gossip, misinformation about you. Be careful. One thing about Marlene is I'm never going to show my tail. I'm never going to embarrass my ancestors. But just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I'm not aware of things. It doesn't mean I'm in the dark. It doesn't make me a fool. And the same thing for you all. Just because you may be a kind person, a nice person, it doesn't mean that we should be a fool. It doesn't mean that you should be a doormat and let people run all over you. There's a difference between being cordial and being used. I can be nice, I can be friendly, I can be supportive, but I'm also not a fool. I'm also not stupid. I'm also a woman about my business. That's one thing for sure. I'm not going to let anybody stop my business, stop my hard work for many, many years. I'm not doing that. And I say the same thing for you. You can see people in real life on this app, any social media, whatever it is, and you can still be cordial. You can be friendly and you can greet people, but it doesn't mean that they have to be somebody that you deal with, offline. It doesn't mean that that has to be somebody that you deal with past, being uh, an employee with them, or after you handle your business with your actual quote unquote business. You have to learn to separate. You cannot like people's personality, but you have to be able to take things with a grain of salt. Not everybody that we know or we know of, that we have to be upset and think that we have to get along. You don't have to get along with everybody, but I always believe that there's always something that we can learn from somebody. There's always something that I can learn from somebody. So I'm learning to take the good and throw away the bad. Learn to be mature enough. I think that's another point that I want to talk about. Learn to be mature enough to know your worth, that when somebody is making you feel some type of way, or when somebody is being very negative or dark or hurtful or evil towards you or another person, learning to be mature enough to walk away from them, walk away from situations, walk away from whatever, from drama, from foolishness, from all of those things, because you're mature. We're not kids, we're not little kids. And some people, and I'm speaking from experience with me, until I was mature enough to know my worth, to know that I don't have to respond to everything, that I don't have to go back and forth with people, I don't have to allow other people's misery to become mine. Once I learned that it was okay for me to walk away from people, for me to not have to explain who I was to anybody. So that's what I'm saying. We can be cordial with people, and at the same time, we don't care for them. That's what being an adult, that's adulting. That's being a mature woman or being a mature man, knowing how to say, I'm not going to let anybody stop my money. I'm not going to let anybody stop my business. I'm not going to let anybody stop my peace of mind. I'm going to be myself. I will greet others. I will greet you. I will say hello to you. But then that's where it ends. See, that's maturity. And I'm learning that that's the best thing in life. You don't have to be disrespectful to people. If somebody's not your cup of tea, if somebody is not your vibe, if you don't get along with them, you don't have to say anything. You can just keep on going, keep on moving. But learn how to be mature, for goodness sake, especially on social media. Be mature. Be mature enough to, okay, I don't get along with you, and you can see that this is not something that's working. Be mature enough to walk away. You don't have to disrespect other people on their platform, but respect yourself. Know yourself enough to know when, like, this is not working. It's not working, and I don't care for them, and all of those things. And that's okay. We have to understand that. We have to understand, we have to know, and we have to learn that. We don't have to get along with everybody. But one thing that we should never do is don't do something that later on you will regret. Maybe, what if your kids watch your social media? What if your friends? What if a prospective sponsor comes and looks at a video that you made when you were ranting and raging, and then decides, no, this is not somebody I want to be in collaboration with. This is not a person that I want to sponsor. Always, do your best. Represent yourself well. Represent your brand. Represent your business and represent your family well. Never let anybody take you sideways, take you outside of who you are, outside of what you know you are. You know, one thing that I hear people say all the time is, I know myself and I love myself. But the minute that something happens, they're going crazy. You, part of knowing yourself and loving yourself is knowing how to be mature enough. I don't need to respond to that. And you don't. And I don't. And I won't. I won't respond to foolishness. But there does come a time where you have to acknowledge some things and say it out loud to let people know about boundaries. I will not allow disrespect. I will not allow misinformation and lies. I won't allow that part. But at the same time, certain people are irrelevant in our life. They're irrelevant, you know, especially on an app. You turn off the app and it disappears. It goes away. Okay. And know the difference, know what's important, and spend time with the people who are important to you. Don't waste your time on social media trying to convince other people of who you are and trying to convince people of your worth. As long as you know that, that's all that matters. And that's all that's important. So, thank you so much for tuning into the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Don't let anybody change your personality or ruin your reputation because of some words, because of projections, because of lies. You know that. And be your best. Do your best. And I will see you on the next Real Talk and Real Conversation podcast on tomorrow. If you have not already, hit that like. Please do so and subscribe to this channel. And I will see you all on the next Marlene Saunders Show. Bye bye, everybody.